Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we've got an early look at Nintendo's first mobile game in the rundown.
Plus, we get some good vibrations with some new audio tech from Sony.
And then we get you up to speed on the latest Need for Speed game. Also coming up, we have more Need for Speed with a classic review of Hot Pursuit 2. Jose and Sophia take us to a Blood Bowl and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day, and there are plenty of cool new things to talk about from Nintendo, so let's get started. Nintendo has finally announced their first mobile game, and it might surprise you. No, it's not a Mario, Zelda, or Metroid adventure. Nintendo's first mobile game is called Miitomo and is a communication app where users can meet and interact with people using their Mii characters. You'll be able to use your existing Mii, so it's kind of like a mobile version of Miiverse. Like other mobile titles, Miitomo will be free to download with optional paid content available in-game. It will launch on smartphones and tablets in early 2016. Nintendo hasn't made games for third-party platforms in decades, instead relying solely on their own systems like the Wii U and 3DS. Investors have been begging them to embrace mobile gaming for years. Nintendo announced that it would begin developing games for smartphones and tablets earlier this year after buying a large stake in Japanese mobile game developer DNA. Expect plenty more mobile titles featuring big Nintendo icons after Miitomo rolls out. Finally, we get to talk about a Nintendo mobile game. Here's my pal, Marissa Roberto. It's not quite what we were expecting, though, right?
Yeah, finally we get to talk about it, but are we excited to talk about what we're seeing so far? Oh, not really.
It's like a total tiny baby toe dip into the water here, right?
It is a little toe dip, it's true. I'm a little disappointed, but I do love Tomodachi Life, and I feel like this kind of looks like that's what it might be, but a smaller, very condensed version of it.
I think this is Nintendo really investing in me, right?
For sure,
And saying that this is going to carry on, I think, with the NX and future Nintendo platforms and future Nintendo mobile games. So that's kind of interesting because this was all sort of brought about by the Wii, and this could have been the end of all of that with this new partnership that they have with DNA, but it sounds like they're going all in, and maybe stuff that you buy through this Miitomo game will take part in whatever the Mii extension becomes in other titles out there.
Yeah, that's the key word, though, that you buy.
You buy, yes.
Because it's going to be freemium, I'm sure, when you buy stuff in the game, because that's the way you make money now, being mobile. All these developers are noticing this and just jumping on board with that.
Yeah.
I really would love to see more games like we just played Triforce Heroes, and that would be much better on an iOS.
That would work in mobile for sure, and the Animal Crossing, the Happy Home Designer,
Happy Home Designer for sure.
Be a great mobile title
on iOS. So I'm hoping to see more of that with these games. I don't. That's why I'm a little disappointed with the look of this.
Yeah.
But it's happening in early 2016 as well, so maybe they'll announce more things by the end of this year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it was supposed to be this year, but they've delayed it a little bit, so they're working on it.
Yeah.
You know, Nintendo's a pretty ethical company when it comes to what they offer for prices, and even if you're buying free-to-play stuff through some of their material or DLC packs, they're pretty, value infused. I think. People generally are very pleased with Nintendo stuff over the years, and I don't think they want to disrupt that as they enter this new market.
No, of course not. I'm a huge Nintendo advocate. I love these guys. They've given me so much joy over the years, and I can't imagine that being taken away jumping onto iOS.
I mean, the cynical, posse out there will not have it if this is just a cheap cash grab.
For sure, and you know that I will be the first to call it out if it is, definitely. But I believe in Nintendo, and I know that they're going to give us something. So I just hope it's something that's totally tangible and that I can use moving forward.
Can't wait to learn more about that.
Course.
But right now we've got to throw to Jose and Sophia. They're reviewing Blood Bowl 2.
The team with the most touchdowns wins.
Very nicely summed up, Bob.
As a Canadian living among Americans, I could never really quite understand the excitement and fervor around American football. But if you throw in some orcs, some elves, I can see why it might be a little bit appealing. So Blood Bowl 2 definitely had my attention. Jose, what'd you think?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the good old American football, even some Canadian football when I get a chance to see it when I'm up there. So I was excited. I'm like, Blood Bowl 2, this has got to have some sort of mutant league style football to it, right? You see these orcs, there's giant guys, people smashing all over the place, bloodshed everywhere. How could you go wrong? You could go wrong by making this a turn-based tactical football game. What
Well, to be fair, Blood Bowl is based off the tabletop game of the same name made by the Games Workshop people over in the UK.
And that makes sense.
That makes sense when you have the Warhammer universe on a table, and then you're taking turns, because that's the only way you're going to play a tabletop game with lots and lots of dice.
Yeah.
Because you have to roll that dice.
You got to roll the dice. In this game, there's dice being rolled. You're not really doing it. It's all luck of the draw.
Well, Blood Bowl 2 is very random, so it's, if you want a fair football game, I mean, with football, I just find that a lot of the times you're just lining up. And in this case, you line up once and you're just taking turns, almost like chess. So you're strategically placing your guys into different locations. You're trying to prevent people from moving. But I guess the appeal is that everything is so random, like not just with the dice, but like a referee can come in and just take your guy out. And you're like, okay, At one point, my entire team was lying on their back.
Yeah, that will happen. You think you have a clear path, guys will trip you, knock you down, punch you in the face when you think you're making the right moves and you're clearly not. I mean, that's what happens in the year 2513. There's like a Vampire, Jim, and Bob, the announce team. They're just announcing you on the Cabal Vision and trying to at least describe some sort of activity that's happening on the field.
If you're really looking to play a realistic or somewhat fair game of football, or even a turn-based version of that, it's just not fair, and it's just all randomized anyway. I mean, the campaign mode walks you through the basics. It starts off really, really easy, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is great. And then it starts layering in more.
I can toss it to the guy next to me.
And again, font size. When it's designed for the PC, I can't read anything on the TV.
They're getting up close and personal, Bob.
You need to be close.
The dice roll each time gets kind of a little bit frustrating, because every time you do anything, there's a dice roll. It's like you catch the ball, fumble, fumble, and it's like it goes through 3 guys and they all just drop the ball. I'm like,
I mean, my big guy hit the small guy. Oh, he rolled his skull face.
And you're dead.
I'm smashed now.
And you only get 16 turns, because that's just how long the game lasts. So there's a halftime at, turn 8, and then that's it. So you want to score early, score once or twice, and you should be set.
Well, unfortunately, Blood Bowl 2, the highly anticipated sequel to Blood Bowl 1, did not give me that Mutant League football action that I was looking for, and that's why I can only give this game a 5 out of 10.
And I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
That game looks crazy. I totally want to play Blood Bowl.
A little behind-the-scenes info for you. Victor Lucas doesn't have his license.
That's well established.
Yeah, but guess what? He gets behind the wheel after this.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Hi, my name is James Stevenson. I'm the community lead at Insomniac Games. I'm so excited for Star Wars The Force Awakens this fall. I've been a huge Star Wars fan since I was a little kid. One of my favorite memories, though, I loved playing Decipher's old Star Wars CCG card game. And I remember winning my first tournament. I went 6-0. It was the early part of the special edition. I played a Hunt Down and Destroy the Jedi deck before they got popular, and no one knew what to do with it, that no one thought it was a viable deck. And I just remember sitting there and beating guys that had played in the World Championships the previous year and getting a really cool General Veers t-shirt from Decipher, and that was like a huge moment to win that tournament. And we had Star Wars music playing, and I felt like this victorious champion, like I'd just blown up the Death Star. And I'm so excited Star Wars is back, to play Battlefront, to see The Force Awakens. It's gonna be an awesome year for Star Wars fans.
It's true. All of it.
Thank you, James Stevenson. You, my friend, are handsome. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, hi, Scott Jones.
Hey, Marissa
Do you
Roberto.
appreciate good audio?
I appreciate good art and good audio. Yes, I do. Sophisticated man. That's
wow.
me.
So does Victor Lucas. He checked out the newest from Sony and Ford.
This is Lee Anderson. He works at Sony Automotive, which means that he is part of the team that puts incredible sound into vehicles, and the Ford Explorer Platinum certainly has that this year. You have something special with the audio this time, don't you?
Absolutely. It's the first time that we're actually launching the clear phase and live acoustics technologies into the automotive arena.
So we sat in a concert hall and we heard some acoustics from different seating arrangements, and it was explained to us that in different seats it all sounds the same. Is that something that you guys went for with this?
Yes, you really can appreciate the clear phase and live acoustics anywhere you're sitting in the vehicle. Clear phase, it really enables us to reproduce the music exactly as the artist intended. So when you're sitting there in the car, clear phase active, and you got your music just pumping, this is exactly what the artist wanted you to be listening to when they were in the studio cutting these tracks. this is what they wanted you to get.
And so that's one mode, and you showed us a little demonstration earlier. You also have a surround mode.
Exactly.
And what do you call that, though?
That's live acoustics.
Okay.
So live acoustics, it was actually developed by a Sony engineer in Tokyo who also happens to be one of the violinists in the Sony Philharmonic Orchestra.
Okay.
Right, so he was actually able to go around the world just taking measurements in concert halls such as the Vienna Philharmonic, Berlin, and so on and so forth. Went back to Tokyo, compared all of the acoustic characteristics from all of those different concert halls, and developed this algorithm that resides in the 500-watt amplifier in this vehicle.
Sony has a whole automotive division, and you guys work with all kinds of car manufacturers to put, sound systems in them. But this is part of a special Ford Explorer Platinum thing for 2016. Why was this the vehicle that you guys chose?
This is the vehicle that we chose. Well, it's really the vehicle that we're able to present these technologies because of what Ford have provided us.
Okay.
With the natural materials, the Nirvana leather, the wood grain, the insulated windows that we're hearing about from Ford earlier as well, provides us a perfect soundstage to be able to replicate this music and present it to the driver, to the passenger, and even the second and third row as the artist intended, in such a pristine fashion.
What happens with this as the premier kind of display of what this is capable of? Does this become sort of like the example that other car manufacturers kind of reach out to you guys for, or is this going to be exclusive to this vehicle only?
At the moment, Sony are only working with Ford in our automotive entertainment systems. Yes, we have an aftermarket division, but Ford is our only customer for audio.
So you want to kind of show the world what your car audio technicians are capable of.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ford and Sony established a partnership back in 2001 where we introduced, for the first time, branded audio into the automotive sector.
Okay.
And so that was with the Focus. And from the Focus through to now, we've been working with Ford through these last 15 years to get to where we are now. So that's why Ford want us along here and why we want to be here.
Yeah.
Because we feel like Ford and Sony have come to a point of almost perfection, right? Yes, we're going to get better, just like Ford's going to get better with their vehicles going forward, but really this is a home run.
Thanks, Vic. Another great interview. Listen, I'm going to start following you on Twitter. Finally.
Yeah. No, he's pretty good on Twitter, actually. He likes to tweet about video game stuff, usually. That's his game. But he also talks to people about video games, and the latest Need for Speed is on the way. So here's Vic with more.
Yo, guys, some big names in town.
Tell us why you're looking at Need for Speed is coming back. What's new, what's different, what's exciting about the franchise this year?
Calling it a reboot and a return is resting upon that we didn't ship a game last year, obviously. It was the first year in about 20 years that we didn't ship a Need for Speed game. And the reason for that was pretty simple. I felt, as Ghost took over the Need for Speed franchise, that we needed to sit back, think about what we wanted Need for Speed to be. Because if you think about the last years of Need for Speed, it's been Need for Speed Shift, going around tracks, it's been Most Wanted, it's been The Run, narrative-driven. I just wanted to sit down, talk to our fans during these last 18 months about what games should we be making. Looking back into the different experiences that we've seen, and together with the passion that we have built up, talking to the fans that are passionate about Need for Speed, we created this package of this Need for Speed game that's coming out this fall. And yes, we released a teaser trailer. The response to that has been absolutely fantastic. It's blown my mind.
You have 5 key pillars in the game, or 5 ways to play, you're coining it.
Yeah.
Take us through those.
Yeah, 5 ways to play is really a concept of thinking about what is the ultimate Need for Speed experience. As we talk about that in the office, we're like, yeah, it's going 150 miles per hour, sideways, into a corner with style, driving with your friends, chased by the cops in a highly modified car. So if you think about those 5 different elements put together, we have structured a narrative on those 5 different elements. Those all run in parallel, 5 different story threads in the game, and each is led by a real-world icon, someone who exists in reality, who has that playstyle as his job or hobby or whatever. He's a celebrity around that. We'll obviously reveal those later on, but the key here is that you get 5 different stories that you can play through. You can play through them in any order, you can start them in any order, and ultimately, as you play through it, you'll become the ultimate icon in the game.
That was all that matters.
Why Why do you think the Need for Speed brand and the franchise has endured? Why do you think it means so much to so many gamers?
Many people have fond memories of this franchise. It started on the very first platforms, on the PS2, the Underground games. But I also think it's such an established brand, right? It's cars that you can modify. It's going to be about open world. It's going to be about high-paced action, edge of the seat driving, and it's going to be about hanging out with your friends in that world. It's such a global known brand. And we can see that when we come up with this announced trailer for the reboot of Need for Speed, it just takes us to numbers of views and stuff that, you know, we haven't been even close to that in the last 5 years of Need for Speed, because we haven't had that edge of what we're delivering. And that's the value of understanding who you are as a brand and then build an experience on it.
How you drive, it's up to you.
Oh man, Victor Lucas, yes indeed, I do like to go fast.
Oh man, it is time for a commercial break. Pit stop, everyone. But when we come back, it's going to be Vic and Tommy with a classic review of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
You have a radar detector, so you see the cops on the side of the road and your radar detector goes off. You can actually slow down. Hello, officer, not doing anything wrong. How you doing? And then back up to 180.
You never learned that from experience, have you?
Welcome back to EP Daily. You know, I kind of have a high fever today and the undeniable need to make peel-out sounds with my mouth. It must be Need for Speed season, classic review time. Here's Vic and Tommy with a review of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 on the PlayStation 2. What'd you think of this one?
This is the best driving game I've ever played.
This is your favorite driving game ever.
What do you think of that? Do you get to be chased by the police officers, but you also can play the police officers and go chasing other people as well.
Very cool. I love the nitro boost when you're the cop.
Yeah.
That is such an awesome effect.
Well, even in your car, though, you have a radar detector. So you see the cops on the side of the road and your radar detector goes off. You can actually slow down. Hello, officer, not doing anything wrong. How you doing? And then back up to 180.
You never learned that from experience, have you?
The other thing, though, is that the artificial intelligence on the police vehicles are absolutely phenomenal.
They're relentless.
Vicious.
They're relentless. They will not stop. If you piss them off, they will chase you down until they get you.
Roadblock is in place.
How about there's a big forest fire?
Forest fire is awesome. I love the dust clouds and the tumbleweeds and the desert level. You can even bust through an old billboard that's sitting alongside the road. It's really cool stuff like that.
Unbelievable.
I love all the stuff that the camera does too. If you take a jump in your McLaren F1, you know, you're 40 feet over the ground, the camera will just pivot around. Total Matrix stuff. Really nice stuff like that.
Let's talk about the cars, okay? All of the coolest cars that you ever wanted to drive are in this game.
Yeah.
You got your Lamborghinis, you got your Ferraris, you got your
McLaren F1, BMWs, Lotuses.
Lotus Elises and your Lotus Esprits and all of the best. But you even got the BMWs too for the people who are into those type of cars. And this has Corvettes and all of the best supercars of the world in this, and there are tons of them.
Well,
and
it
really
lives up to its name. How about the graphics too? The graphics are just stellar, man.
I mean, the graphics aren't as good as Gran Turismo 3.
But when you consider all the stuff that's in the game, you know,
you don't mind. The graphics are beautiful.
You're driving all over the place. Everything looks completely 3D. All the trees, the rocks.
Excellent.
There are a couple of things that I wish they had tweaked to improve the game. The cop animations that they have when you get busted.
Yeah, they kind of just go like this. I would have loved to have seen them throw you out of the car and put the cuffs on you.
And it would have been very nice to see a lot more animals on screen, you know, and people and stuff in the background. Because
you just want to run over animals, don't you?
No. I just want to see more sort of.
I wanted to run over animals.
That's you.
Yeah.
No, I would have just liked to have seen more.
Run over people.
Yeah, people running around would have been great too.
So you could run them over.
Well, no, but just to see
them.
No,
I would have run them
or
over.
Waving or like going, wow, look at how fast that guy's going.
Yeah, but then you go back and you run them over.
Okay, you can run them over.
Right.
All right, if you could run people over, this would be a lot better. You can't blink in this game. Your eyes will tear up. You know, there's so much stuff happening. Black Box did a phenomenal job. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10.
Exactly what I'm giving it as well, 9.5.
oh man, the Need for Speed fever, I think, is coming back. Thanks, Vic and Tommy. And up next, it's Twitter question of the day after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back to EP Daily. It's time for our Twitter question of the day, which always brightens the mood around here. This one's from Sid the Kid. Oh. Many believe the new Tomb Raider game will be able to stand against Fallout 4. What are your thoughts?
First of all, that wasn't Sidney Crosby, even though it could have been. Maybe it was. It's not, though. We need to talk about this for a second because I don't think that that's true. I feel like
they're so different.
They're so different, and Fallout 4 is just going to blow this thing away. I, of course, love Lara Croft, absolutely, but she just, there's just no way.
I'm playing the new Tomb Raider already. I've got the code for the review, and it's
regular.
It's not Fallout, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I can say that. You'll be able to see it very soon. But Fallout is about sort of player choice and lots of freedom and lots of different kinds of ways to approach every situation.
Yeah, and
Tomb Raider is a little more linear and a little bit more focused on discovery within this beautiful world that they created.
Does that equal less fun? Maybe. Maybe.
It's so subjective. Good question, though. If you've got one for us or you want to get caught up on the show, go to our website, epn.tv.
We've got more coming for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including, get this, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
That's right. Thanks for watching. EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now.
It's extremely important for our team to get legitimacy in our games. Can't go into details about exactly where we've been, but just know that every single detail from the locations down to the characters is extremely well researched, and we put all that attention to detail into the final game.